I'm Scott Turbowski, and this is the 2015 Mazda MX-5. Zoom, zoom, brah.
When you get in the MX-5 for the first time, you're either gonna fit or you're not. If you're a big person, you got a lot of weight, or you're really tall, this is gonna be a coffin for you. For me, since I have the body of a 5-year-old girl, I have no problem fitting in here, and it feels really comfortable and relaxed. The biggest thing is, this car is not intimidating. It's so simply laid out, there's nothing that's left to, well, I wonder what that does. It's just self-explanatory. You get in and you drive. This car is very visceral. It's that open top, that open air feel. It's kind of like what I was talking about with the S2000. A lot of the charm of that car is just the fact that you can hear and see everything. You're a part of the environment. But that said, even with the top up, and this has a hard top, there's just this oral sensation you get from the motor that just transmits into the cabin. It's not neutered at all, so you always feel like you're going faster than you really are. And that's actually part of the fun of this car, and I actually enjoy revving it out a lot more. You know, I'm at the point in my life right now where I really appreciate this. To be able to go out, it's fall, it's still cold, but to be able to go out and just enjoy the open top experience, the things that are going on around you. And part of that is just enjoying the experience of being connected with the car. And like today, you know, I can go out, I can see everything, I can smell everything, I can hear everything going on around me. It's just kind of something that you can't explain until you get behind the wheel of a car like this. This car is fun. Got a little bit of ice mode there. You know what? This is a car that you have to really kind of just think about to appreciate more, because it's really good at doing everything. And like right now, it's very comfortable. This car has the Bilstein shocks, and the limited slip differential as an option. And one of the things I can say is this is an extremely well balanced and really comfortable riding car. It's not overly firm. There is a surprising amount of body roll, but body roll isn't necessarily a bad thing when there is actually grip and balance. So even though you feel the car kind of like pitching around, there's never a place where I feel like it's under or oversteering. It just kind of sticks. And it's just part of having that extra suspension travel means you're going to have a little bit more comfort too. You're not getting beat up by the car all the time.
It's much more comfortable than the S2000. You can drive it for more than a half hour and not be like, oh, get me the fuck out of here. It feels like it rotates on every corner. No matter how fast you're going, it gives you that feeling. But it definitely feels like a convertible.
I'm not gonna lie, this is a convertible. There is cowl shake. You can feel the rigidity is not like that of a car like the FRS. But in a lot of ways, this car has almost basically no competition. There's nobody that's been able to challenge Mazda in this segment, at least in America, for a long time. Actually, probably the closest thing you can get is an S2000, and that car is long gone now. So there is something major to be said about Mazda and their willingness to support this car, not only in terms of motorsports, but you know, you can actually get it with a warranty. It's reliable. I mean, it does so many things so well. Why does it have the stigma that it has? Why do you think?
Everything I read on the internet is bad.
Well, like, what's bad about it?
They always make fun of it, saying it's for gay people and old men.
And why do you think that is?
Well, just look at the car. It's for two men to be close to each other like us.
So girls don't drive this car?
Usually not.
I don't really understand the stigma, honestly. I've been in this car for a couple days. Oh!
It's for autocross.
What are we under?
Miata.
What model year is this?
2005.
It's actually 2015.
Oh.
But, you know, this car's been around for a while. This is actually the last model year of this generation. And we're going to take a look underneath and just see what's so special about it.
It's very special.
Nice shirt.
You like that?
You joining Palms?
I got it just for this car.
So what makes this Miata so special? And, you know, there's a lot of stigma, and I'm going to say this a lot. When you get under this car, the first thing you realize is this is a purpose-built car for being able to take it on the track, to pretty much do anything. Everything's adjustable. It has in-wheel double wishbone suspension, adjustable camber, caster, and toe in the front, and adjustable camber and toe in the rear. And then the rear end has a multi-link, which is kind of an understatement. So let's take a look at that. So this is the rear suspension. You can see how many control arms are actually here. How many ball joints does this thing have?
4.
4 for one side?
4 for one side.
Why do you think they did that?
We're bored.
Yeah, clearly they were bored and they're just figuring out how to add as many ball joints as possible. It's more than likely that this is to control bump, steer, and keep the suspension geometry as neutral as possible in a lot of conditions. But again, when you look at this car, you can tell that they put a lot of thought into this, that it wasn't just going to be a street car, that it was going to be set up for motorsports, that you could take this car off the showroom floor and pretty much go beating on it. There's a lot of structural bracing on this. This is huge. Looks like aluminum. A huge center support aluminum.
You should get under here and polish it. So when you put the mirrors under it, the car showroom, we can look at it.
That's probably going to be your goal after this video, is to get this thing all shined up. Where are you going to take it?
Route 14.
What's that?
Junkyard.
There's more bracing towards the center of the car, the transmission, the front bulkhead, right under the motor, and then you actually have a lot of channeled airflow from this front plastic trim, and it looks like the airflow is pretty smooth over this whole car. There's nothing really fancy under the hood of this thing.
Yes, there is. There's a sound tube.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was actually driving yesterday and thinking, wow, this car has a lot of aural feedback. And here's the answer. There's a sound tube dumping induction noise into the cockpit.
They should dump an exhaust into the car.
There's a lot of room in plenty of spots under this car, and there's a ton of room in the front end of the car. The actual radiator's on a slope. So if you wanted to do an oil cooler or various types of
Nitrous bottles.
This motor is a 2-liter. This is not the Skyactiv motor with direct injection. Now again, this is the outgoing model, so 2016, when it's completely brand new, they're going to have a direct injected motor. But this motor feels pretty damn peppy for what it is, but then again, the car doesn't weigh anything. Even though this is a 2015 MX-5, when you get in it, and believe me, I love simple, but this car, you get in and you feel like it's really dated. And that's because it is. This car's been in production for almost 10 years. 10 years this third generation has been around. So when you get in it, you take a look at the center stack, the gauge cluster, the steering wheel. A lot of the little details in here just feel like you're in an old car, and you are. But the silver lining is the new fourth generation Miata that's coming out next year borrows all that stuff that's great in the Mazda 3, the Mazda 6. It's gonna be a huge improvement over this. But let me just say, this is not bad, because this is so simple. Everything works. There's no learning curve. You have an oil pressure gauge, you have an analog tach, an analog speedometer. It's just simple, and it's all about the driver. So while it's dated, it's still a good interior. You can see in terms of legroom here, I think you could probably fit somebody that's about 6'2", 6'1", maybe. There's not a lot of hip room. This is not a car for a big person, so I'm not gonna lie right there, but it is comfortable. I'm a small guy again, but I feel like this could be a very accessible car if you're in that right size range. Ergonomics are really good, cup holder placement's good, but again, this is a small convertible. This is not a mass market vehicle by any means. So if you're really seriously looking at this car, all you have to do is sit in it and you're gonna know right away whether it's gonna work or not. Now, because of the power retractable hardtop on here, this becomes almost an all-season car. And I say almost because really, I'm not fooling anyone. It's still a convertible. You hear wind noise. There's still a lot of creaks and rattles. So I don't know that I would run this all year round, but you could if you wanted to. Acceleration. I like this 2-liter a lot, even though it's pumping in artificial sound induction from the sound tube. The gears are so short. It's so fun to rev this car out, and you feel like you're going a lot faster than you are. It's so visceral. And that's one of the big highlights of driving this that I didn't expect. I've complained about the FRS incessantly, how underpowered that car feels. This car is short on horsepower even compared to that, and it just feels faster. Looking past the stigmas, the jokes online, the whole thing about being a Miata owner. When I first got in this car and I drove it for the first couple days, I thought to myself, I don't know if I could ever own one. I don't think I could ever get over that hump. Well, I'm here to say that driving this now, I'm a believer. I would actually go to a dealership and buy one of these cars because it's that good. And not only is it that good, is because when you get underneath of this and you see how much thought they put in, how much engineering they put in to make sure that you can drive it on the street, autocross and track, there's not a lot of cars that have this type of dedicated platform behind it. Most are mutts, a combination of different cars. This is dedicated for the enthusiast driver, and it's really accessible. You don't feel intimidated driving it. It's just fun, and that's it.